Hi, I'm Nicholas Woolwork, globally published author of Investing in International Real Estate for Dummies, with the famous 4 Dummies self-help guide. I'm also JV partner with Martin Roberts, and we're offering JVs to anyone out there that's got a decent amount of capital, or indeed has got a site they already own, they need help delivering it. So check that out at nicholaswoolwork.com/mentorship. I'm here on my client's site, 30,000 square foot office conversion behind me. And I want to talk to you today about budgeting. You know, we talk about, done a lot of videos lately on the construction process, on having the right team of people around you, and ultimately, you know, very construction-led advice. But I want to jump on now quickly. We've got my guys over here. Going to jump over to you actually because it's a little bit better. We've got loads of people building, a busy hive of a site today, and lots of people coming and going all the time. So yeah, we're on an active building site. It's great. I love it. I love seeing things happen, coming in and things changing, and kitchens going in, protection going on the floors, flooring going in, doors getting shut. It's amazing. What's great is that we're coming to the end of this site, so we're talking about budgeting, and ultimately the money's going to stop soon. You know, with the development, you get to your lowest point in cash flow at the end of a site. It can be painful. You know, with developers, you either have loads of cash in the bank after you've just sold a site or refinance it, or you've got next to none, and you want a decent buffer at the end because you don't want to be cash flow poor and go bankrupt. You know, you can go bankrupt with loads of assets. Cash flow is king. It's very, very hard to manage in property development because the swings of cash are huge, and proper budgeting is really, really important. So we have our project management firm and team of QSs that are constantly budgeting these sites on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, looking at the expenditure, working with the main contractor, agreeing bills and sign off different spec items, things that can save you money. We are always looking to value engineer a site down, but keep the quality. Now with budgeting, it all starts from the beginning. It starts from planning that build through the tender process, getting the pricing down with the tender process, choosing your spec, your layouts, your design, all of that leads into the cost. You need to look at your location. Do you spend more in a higher value area, less in a cheaper area? What's your exit? Is it high-end corporate lets? Is it Airbnb, higher quality end? Or is it students or council tenants, or another kind of form where you can actually do a slightly cheaper build and save some money on the costs? So all that needs to be decided, but once you have decided that general stuff, getting into that pricing and tendering process is key, and then managing that through the build. Often you're taking development finance, and that can be usually the build of the site can be 100% finance. That's something a lot of people don't realise. You might only get 50 or 60% on the purchase, that's fine, but you can almost always finance all of the development costs, depends how far you go, and it depends on the total cost. It's usually calculated development finance on a percentage of the total cost, or indeed a percentage of the total GDV, or the lower of those two. So it can be quite complex calculations sometimes. You know, once you know how much you can lend, you can feed that into a budget and make sure it all matches. So once you've got your development finance sorted, and you've understood the loan to value ratios, you've understood the total cost, it's about then managing that cash flow through the build. You have to work with the bank's monitoring surveyor. Now that will be a RICS surveyor that they appoint that works with your QS. They're probably basically a QS surveyor. They're monitoring the cost as well. So each month when you ask for more amounts of money for the drawdown to pay your builders and your construction firm, your QS will put a report of what's been spent on site. They will do a valuation. They'll go around and value everything that's been done, what materials are on site, what's been spent, what's been finished, and tick off this massive long list from the start of the build right to the end. Right, we spent 100 grand today. Great. They put that forward to the bank's monitoring surveyor. They maybe come around and check and value it as well. And if they're happy with it, they'll sign that off, goes to the bank for payout to you to pay the construction team. Now that cash flow process is really, really important to understand. And that's why you need a good buffer. Now we normally have a contingency of usually about 10%. On very well managed sites that are very easy to understand, you might be able to push that down to 5, but I'd always recommend nearer 10. On certain sites that are more risky, 15. And it also depends on how many consultants and surveys you can get done before you buy it. As you get further down the build, obviously the cost gets more known until right at the end, you know exactly to the penny what you've spent. But throughout a build, things happen, things don't work. Here we had problems with the floor slab and lots of reinforcement we had to cut through. That was something we hadn't foreseen, even despite digging a couple of trial pits in choice locations. So buildings and sites throw things at you. There might have been contamination. There might be an archaeological dig for hopefully not, because that's one of the nightmares in building. If you break open the ground, you find some Roman remains, you could be held up for months, if not years. Every developer's worst nightmare. And so, it's really about the costs getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and more known as you get towards the end of that build. But having the right, QS and the right people to analyse that for you on a monthly basis, really, really important. And we get a cost budgeting report, several pages long every month on site that we go through with the QS team to understand what's been spent, what's left, where are we over budget, what's the contingency being used for, when's the next drawdown. Now, major tip, if you can take anything away at the end of this video, major tip for you, have a buffer of at least a couple of months payments, because if you need to pay out your construction firm before you get it from the bank, if there's any delay in that valuation process or the bank's slow, your construction firm might be illiquid and can't continue with 50 guys on site. It's a lot of money each week. They're probably paying them weekly. A lot of construction workers are paid weekly. You don't want them going off site, so sometimes you have to pay them before you can draw it down from the bank. So having cash flow to do that, make time sensitive payments. We had one very time sensitive payment on this particular site where the substation needed to go in, very expensive item, and we needed to get the order in early. As we've seen, electrics and services can take months and months and months to come in. Huge issues with power and electric at the moment. Getting meters, getting all this stuff online is hugely challenging, and it's happened only at the last minute on this site of over 12 months build. So getting those orders in for utilities soon is absolutely critical, and budgeting for that. We were able to pay that cash flow for that substation straight away, so there was no delay, and we were able to draw it down in the next drawdown payment. So having money to pay out for stuff on your site and a buffer for that, really, really important. On any build site, you can't be too illiquid with your cash. So it's a bit of a kind of take heed warning video on cash flow on sites, on budgeting, having the right people in place to budget and cost this out, working very closely with the banks to understand the cash flow requirements and when that cash needs to go out of the bank. And hopefully that will help you deliver sites with a bit more ease and a bit less stress, I should say. If you'd like to work with us on any sites, we are joint venturing with people that have got sites, good sized development sites, whether it be care homes, commercial conversions, land sites they want help getting planning sites with planning but you don't want to build out yourself. We're interested in doing that. I work with Martin Roberts, the UK's leading property expert, and the two of us are teaming up to be able to deliver sites for you. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me at nicholaswarwork.com/mentorship, where there's far more details and a couple of videos of Martin and I talking about that offering. And if we can help with you in any other way or invest alongside us, we do lots of different things to help you guys in your journey. And we do actual mentoring, of course. So if you want some help, you want some advice, some consultancy from me, and we do Zoom calls and I can show you around one of these sites in person if you like, keen to get involved. But more importantly, I want you to comment, like this video, follow us, and hit that bell icon, guys, and watch the journey of this site and many more updates to hopefully help you on your own journey. Take care for now. See you on another video very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.